Wrestling fans, this is Rick Deezel, and welcome to the third installment of the Rick Deezel Show, right here on AIWFWrestling.net. Now, I was supposed to have had a guest this week, but I'm not, and I'll tell you why. I was supposed to have interviewed, I literally, I'm not going to lie to you, I had every intentions of doing an interview with the Nigerian Nightmares at Capital Punishment on February 21st. But then a couple of things happened. One, I met them. Two, I seen the interview Tim Dolan done with them backstage before their match. And consider the fact that Tim Dolan could not communicate with them. There was no language, the language barrier could not be breached. And his interview was a total disaster. And you know how Rick Deezel hates to look bad. And then another interesting thing happened after their match with Big Daddy Edwards and Stephen Hayes. Is I seen what they done to a kid that I've never really felt sorry for until that night. And Dark Angel, call him what you will, Dark Angel, Michael, as many of you know him. You know, he's always been a kid that I kind of just shunned off because I thought he just sort of got under Rick Deezel's skin. Whatever possessed this kid to go in the ring after their match and antagonize these monsters, I will never know. And then what happened after that made up Rick Deezel's mind that he would not sit down with these guys after the show, these animals. What I seen those guys do to that poor kid, I cannot stress enough the astonishment. The stuff they did in the match with Stephen Hayes and Big Daddy Edwards was remarkable, to say the least. It was a match that literally had fans. The Armory in Elkin we had a great crowd. A great crowd. And what I seen in that match shocked me. And it had fans sitting on the edge of their seats. And literally, this is no lie, fans standing up in the rear rows just to see what these two huge monsters could do in that ring was amazing. I mean, just watching the look on the fans' faces. But when I seen what they done to that poor kid, I mean, to Michael, it sent shivers up my spine. And at that point, I knew that Rick Deezel could not be in the same room with those guys. Rick Deezel has never been afraid of anything in his life. And you can mark this on your calendar. February 21st, 2009 was the first time Rick Deezel ever felt fear at a wrestling show. When he laid eyes on the Nigerian Nightmares and seen what those guys done. As a matter of fact, we do have video footage of what they done to Michael, the Dark Angel, in Elkin, North Carolina. And I want to show you that right now. if the kids survived. To be honest with you, after it happened, I just walked out. I did not know what else to say. I didn't know what to do for him. I didn't know how to help him. I know we had several people go out there, they say, and carried him backstage. I didn't check on his health. I didn't check on his progress because, to be honest with you, I was afraid of what I might see. I didn't know if the kid's eyes were popped out of his head. I didn't know if every rib he had was crushed. I didn't know if his spine was busted. I didn't want to know. But it was amazing to watch. That's all I can say. And if you're stupid enough to get in there and antagonize two monsters like that, maybe he got what he deserved. I don't know. I have no idea. But that is why Rick Deezel does not have a guest on the Rick Deezel show this week, is because, to be honest with you, there was no way that I was going to be anywhere near those guys, those animals. And I fear the day that the AIWF brings them back, or any of their affiliates. And I know that there were promoters there last night from SCWA, ZCW, EWC, and they were all watching that match. And I could see in their eyes, these promoters of these affiliates, as they watched these Nigerian Nightmares in that ring. And I sat and watched them in amazement. And I could almost read their thoughts of, I can't wait to get these guys on my show. And I know that they're going to try. And the Nigerian Nightmares will be back in this area again. And when they come through, every affiliate in the AIWF is going to be scrambling to get these guys on there. And the people who were there last night will tell you, the AIWF's already got an email. And that email said that... That email said that's what these folks talked about on the way home last night after the show, or on the 21st, depending on when you watch this. But that's what they talked about, was the Nigerian Nightmares, and how they'd never seen anything like that. So I think we can safely say that there's going to be Nigerian Nightmares in the future for an AIWF affiliate. Okay. That behind us, let's get on to some other business. And since I don't have a guest this week, I'm just going to ramble for a little bit. I do know that AIWF's already been getting emails because of what happened between me and Kenny at Capital Punishment in Elkin on February 21st. And I just want to go on record right now as saying that what happened, what I'd done in Elkin, North Carolina on that night, it had to be done. Something had to happen to stop the insanity that has become Kenny.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry for everything I said about you. Okay? I'll be your friend. I'll be your friend. Okay? I'm your friend. And you don't take JDN and then keep your towel, right? Right? You don't take care of JDN.
Somebody had to step up and do the right thing, because this guy, he's getting too many free passes because of his affliction, his mental capacity. ever how you want to put it. Too many people are feeling sorry for this guy. Too many people are taking the fact that he's special, as they like to say. But he's special, okay? He's not a charity case. Somebody had to step up and do something. We had a guy carrying one of the most prestigious titles in the AIWF, the Cyber Zone title, the title that represents the TV show for the AIWF, the Cyber Zone. And somebody had to do something to stop this stupidity that the AIWF is showing by allowing this guy to carry this title. And since nobody else was up to the task, Rick Deezel decided that he had to do it himself. Now, you may not like what I've done. You may not care for the fact that you know, we'll show you. And matter of fact, we're going to show you while I'm talking here, I'm sure. You may not like what I've done to Kenny, but it had to be done. And just keep it in the back of your mind that it had to be done. And I know that I caused that title to be put on J.D. Anderson, one of the most hated men in any of the affiliate programs, in any of the affiliates. Everywhere he goes, people just despise him. He can't even walk into a 7-Eleven or any convenience store without pissing off the pimply-faced clerk that's back there blowing up condoms like balloons and playing with the money, which God knows he probably can't even count. But J.D. Anderson can't go anywhere without making somebody mad. And he's always got this giant, well, I like to call him Tim Dolan's darker brother, Mr. D, with him. And these guys are always upsetting people. And yes, I have put the Cyber Zone television title on J.D. Anderson. But you know what? In my mind, J.D. Anderson is a hell of a lot better champion than Kenny. And Kenny, all I can say, and I'll end it on this, all I can say is, you know, it's a tough world out there. And you better thank God above that Rick Deezel does not step in the ring to wrestle anymore. Because if I did, then you would step in the ring against me, and I would not have sympathy for you. I would not show you the compassion other people do in this business. I would beat you like you should have been beat so many years ago. I would take you, Kenny, and I would make you break under the sheer brutality that is Rick Deezel. But I don't do that no more. You better thank God or whatever being people with your mental capacity pray to that Rick Deezel don't step in the ring anymore. Because then nobody could save you. Okay, let me see. I get carried away. I got an email here that I want to get to. Let me find it. Here we go. This is from Mike Kennon, spelled Kennon. And see these glasses? This is one of the reasons why Rick Deezel don't step in the ring no more. Mike, I do apologize for Rick Deezel show not being at the SCWA show in Wentworth. We are working on, we are working on getting a lot of that worked out. Like I said, Rick Deezel show is still a new show. Mike was wondering what I thought of the Chris Jericho incident in Canada when he attacked a fan. Let me tell you what I think about that. I know Chris Jericho can be an arrogant prick, but look what the man has accomplished in his life. And I watched the video. Yeah, I watched the video, and what I seen was a bunch of Canucks getting up and cheering. And if I'm not mistaken, Chris Jericho is Canadian. And he couldn't even stand the fact that these people were in his face. They were calling him names. They were spitting on him. They were abusing the man when all he wanted to do was go home and rest. So, did Chris Jericho go a little too far? Maybe he did. Did he have to? Maybe he didn't. If the stupid security guards that were supposed to be out there protecting this commodity that Vince McMahon has, he's a gold mine for Vince McMahon. Everybody knows that. whether you like him or not. Everybody knows that Chris Jericho is a freaking gold mine. So, did Chris Jericho have to fight back? Yes. Why? Because the security guards were not doing their job. And if you will listen to the tape, he mentioned that to him. So that's what I think about that. Well, that's what Mike Kennan. Thanks, Mike. And you know, Mike sent us a couple emails, and I appreciate it. Mike, you keep sending them in. And I may not give you the answer you want every time, but you know what? You're a good fan for sending in those emails, and I hope everybody else will do it as well to AIWF20@hotmail.com. Put in the subject box, Rick's Deezel Show. So don't be afraid to write, unless you just don't want to hear what my opinion is. And then if you don't want to hear my opinion, then I don't know, maybe you're a coward. Okay. Now, I did notice that there was someone had wrote in, put on a message board, I think, that they didn't care much for my interview on the last episode of Brian Danzig, and your opinion don't matter. Alright, now, on to other things. ZCW has got a big show coming up. I'm very interested to see what happens there, because this guy Gamble, who everybody knows that he's really a ladies' man, so to speak. I mean, don't get me wrong, I hadn't seen him ratting in the parking lot or anything, but I'm sure there may be shades of Jumpin' Jimmy there somewhere. But Gamble is going to be, I want to see this list that Gamble has got. And I'm going to be at the ZCW show on March 7th, down at the Asheboro Boys and Girls Club in Asheboro, North Carolina. And I'm going to see if I can't get my hands on this list that Gamble's got. Because this list, he's got everybody who he has marked as a rung in his ladder to the top of ZCW. And I'm sure he wouldn't like anything better than to be a contender to the AIWF title that Jimmy Love has. But I want to get a hold of this list, because I'm really interested to see who's on it. He's already went through Jason Blade, and believe it or not, Big Daddy Eric Edwards, who is now one half of the AIWF Tag Team Champions with Chuck King. And I got a little side note, I'm going to get on that in just a second. I really am interested to see who all's on this list. So that's my thing about Gamble. I want to know who's on the list. The feud, also ZCW with Adam Page, DJ Hart, again, and Vice, and Chris Severn, everybody may know Chris Severn is now the SCWA Southeastern Heavyweight Champion, I think it is. I'm not really sure, it's not in my notes, but this feud will end on March 7th between those two guys, because the ZCW has, and I think it's a good move. I mean, this is coming from Tim Daniels, who is one of the Big Kenny marks, to be honest with you. And he's one of the guys who has enabled this whole Kenny thing. But I have to give them guys credit for one thing. They did make a decision to end this feud with these two teams. But then they take a twist in the road, and ever who wins their final match between these two teams on March 7th gets a shot at Kenny and Buggy Boy. So the only thing I can hope is that maybe one of those teams will take those titles. Okay, now, you know, I was talking about Big Daddy Eric Edwards and Chuck King being the tag team champions. Now, as everybody knows, there's a little weird scenario around that. Big Daddy Eric Edwards and Adam Action were in line for that tag team title shot. Now, we have not touched on the fact that Adam Action has just completely disappeared from ZCW, which that's where they were that's where their base were as a tag team. Well, it has come to light now that we do not know why. I have not been able to find out. Nobody will talk to me about it. But what I have found out is that, I guess in the dead of night, there was negotiations going on, and Adam Action was traded. Now, you all know how the whole draft thing works in AIWF. Adam Action was traded from ZCW to Full Effect Wrestling out of Texas. Now, I don't know if Adam Action had anything to do with this. I do know that I have found out that the attack that was reported by ZCW on Adam Action, where he was attacked at his home in Norfolk, Virginia, I have found out that that story was started by Adam Action himself. Nobody knows why. But we do know that Adam Action is back in Texas. We do know that he was injured. He was injured. Now, don't get me wrong, that he did have an injury. But we are now led to believe that it did not come from an attack from Extreme Impact out of EWC, as we were first led to believe by people from Adam Action's camp. Okay? Now, ZCW was just reporting the story. So I don't know if ZCW found out that there was some fabrications. I don't know what happened, but it all this led up to ZCW trading Adam Action under the cover of darkness to Full Effect Wrestling, and Adam Action is now back in Texas. He will be debuting with Full Effect on the 7th of March, and he's also in the tournament for AIWF Texas, the new affiliate AIWF Texas. Adam Action will be in the tournament to determine the AIWF Texas Heavyweight Champion. So we'll find out more on this. I don't know. I mean, you know, Rick Deezel being who he is, by God, he'll get to the bottom of things. I am going to be in Trenton, Tennessee on March the 14th. And I'll talk more about that as it gets a little closer. Still a couple weeks away. But I will be in Trenton, Tennessee. I'm going to be shooting, trying to shoot a Rick Deezel show out there with some of the stars from TIWF. Maybe I'd like to get a couple of Rick Deezel shows in if we could while I'm out there taping. That's one of the big things. Now this weekend, okay? Like I said, I'll get back to the TIWF thing in upcoming weeks. This weekend in Clayton, North Carolina, there's the NCWA's got a big show, the very first annual Ivan Koloff Tag Team Tournament. And as you may know, I mean, the Barbarian's going to be there, Ivan Koloff's going to be there. Consequences Creed from TNA is scheduled to be there. Big tag team tournament. But the big news is Jake the Snake Roberts is going to be in town in Clayton, North Carolina this Saturday night. And, you know, like I said, I've been wanting to talk to Tim Daniels about that. And I didn't get a chance to because he was going to be the spokesperson for the NCWA because, you know, they're just getting started up and they haven't got their spokesperson yet. But there's going to be a Rick Deezel show in Clayton. You can damn well bet on that. Who it's going to be there, I don't know. Will it be Jake Roberts? I don't know. Will Rick Deezel get Jake Roberts to answer some serious questions? I don't know. They say Jake Roberts don't talk to many people. I don't know if he'll talk to me or not. If not, maybe Ivan Koloff will talk to me. Somebody can talk to Rick Deezel in Clayton, North Carolina. But be there. It's going to be an awesome show. Like I said, I've handled my emails. I've talked a little bit. It was mostly just a rambling day today. I tried to cover. Oh, one more thing. I almost forgot. The C4W has started their tournament to determine. Now, many of you may remember not too long ago, the AIWF had the No Limits champion. We disbanded that title. Just kind of put it on the shelf for a while. Well, it's coming back. The No Limits champion is going to be the official title for C4W, and the tournament started on February 21st in Elkin, North Carolina. Already advanced into the final match. It was all semifinal matches. Chris Severn defeated Anarchy Kid to advance in the final match, and Robert Stanley defeated one of the ninjas. Was it Kinja Ninja to advance in the finals. Now on May 9th there will be one more match because the final match for the C4W No Limits title will be a three-way dance. So on May 9th we'll come back to Elkin for C4W. There will be one more match to determine the final participant, and then they will have a three-way dance that same night. So be on the lookout for that. You got to send me some more letters. Mike, I appreciate you, man. Send me something else. I'll answer it for you. I want everybody, I want other people, like I said, if you don't want to hear what I got to say, fine. But if you want to hear my opinion on anything, I don't care. AIWF20hotmail.com. Talk about AIWF and its affiliates. Talk about Vince McMahon, these WW, I can't say it. And TNA, I don't care. I want to talk about wrestling. I want Rick Deezel to be able to give you his opinion. Now, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you want me to talk about other independents that's not in the AIWF affiliation, it ain't going to happen. Alright? Because I got to remain loyal to who I'm supposed to be loyal to. So send in those letters and we'll talk. That's what this show's all about. Rick Deezel's opinion. If you want it, you got to send me an email. And I'll see you next time on the Rick Deezel Show.